Wikimaniacs, before we get started with today's episode, we just want to say a big thank you to today's sponsor, Vinted. This one hits close to home because does anyone else have a closet full of clothes they keep saying they're going to wear but never actually do?
With a new baby coming up, you're gonna have to make some room, my boy. There's actually money sitting in that closet.
And that's where Vinted comes in. Vinted is a second-hand marketplace app that makes it really simple to sell clothes that you no longer wear. And you can give those quality pieces a second life.
And the selling experience is pretty simple. You list your item on Vinted, and once it sells, Vinted creates the prepaid shipping label for you. The best part, there are no seller fees. So you keep everything you earn.
That's right. Not only do you get your space back, but you get some cash money back in your pockets. We all know you love that, Sean.
And now that you have more closet space, Vinted makes it easier to find great deals while getting more value out of the clothes already in your closet.
Ready to clean out your closet and make some extra money? Download the Vinted app for free and start listing. With no seller fees, you keep every dollar you earn.
And right now, there's also free shipping in the US for a limited time.
Give your clothes a second life with Vinted. Download the Vinted app for free and start selling with no seller fees.
Check out Vinted and start listing today. And thank you, Vinted, for sponsoring the show.
Get therapy.
Let's get it. Let's get it going. Before we get started, John, anything you want to shout out? Oh, my name is Sean. It's your boy, Sean. Say hello, John.
Hello, the Browns are here. Reddit.wikishop.com, Reddit.wikishop.com. Fred merch is up there. Half of the profits are going to 10 Oaks Project. Reddit.wikishop.com. Let's go.
Let's get it. All right, let's hop straight into it. It's a Friday. We got 7 episodes.
Stories.
Right. Yeah, we got 7 stories on this single episode. Let's get it. This first one's going from r/Am I the Asshole, and it's titled, Am I the Asshole for Refusing to Help Set Up My Friend's Wedding?
I'm going to go with no. Is it one of those situations where they don't give you the maid of honor or best man title and they still expect you to, what's the word? Like, load up, as much work for you as possible. Or the finances. I'm going not the asshole for this one.
Let's see. OP writes, my male friend, I'm also male, invited me to his wedding and told me to be there at 10 a.m. I turned up with my wife around 9:45 a.m. The wedding was actually at midday. He deliberately got me there 2 hours early so he could rope me into putting up gazebos, dragging tables out, and carrying loads of equipment up a steep hill. I turned up dressed smart, ready for a wedding. He basically said he picked me because I'm strong and do DIY for a living. I am not the best man. I'm not even one of his 6 ushers, none of which were there yet because they were, quote, getting ready. He had about 100 guests he could have asked. I wasn't even invited on the stag, which I gotta assume is British for bachelor party.
Maybe.
He could easily have sorted the setup the day before or hired people to do so.
Or hired OP.
Yeah. Anyways, I said, no, definitely not. I've actually had some neck/back troubles recently, and I was already dressed for the wedding. I also didn't want to leave my wife sat on her own for hours on end while I did construction jobs. I said he should have asked in advance, and I could have said no. That way he could have made appropriate plans rather than tricking me to do it. His response was, quote, hey, dude, I'm giving you a free meal later. You could at least lend a hand to earn it back.
No, bitch, you invited me to your wedding. What do you mean a free meal?
This was your choice, bitch.
Yeah.
I told him I'd traveled a long way, paid for a hotel, and bought a wedding gift so that I could be a part of his day. Being invited doesn't mean I also owe him manual labor on the morning of the wedding while I'm in my suit. He was cold with me during the reception and made a point of jokingly bitching about me to whoever I was chatting to throughout the day. At one point, I'd had enough and I said, quote, serves you right for being a cheapsteak at your own wedding, end quote, in a jokey way in front of his bride. But now I'm second guessing myself. So am I the asshole or was I right to say no?
Nah, you have absolutely the right to say no. And OP here, I think should have is already on the right track. They're like, hey, if they could have told me ahead of time, one, I would have still said no. But you still would have had ample time to, plan this shit out. It's your wedding. It's your vision how things it's gonna be. Why aren't you prepared for it? Why are you gonna inconvenience people to do your extra work for you? And then she's like, well, I thought of you because you're strong. Well, then pay him for his services then. What the fuck are we talking about here? Now, the audacity to say, well, I'm giving you a meal. It was your choice to invite me. If you didn't want me to be there, then don't invite me ever.
Yeah, if you didn't want to pay for my meal, then don't fucking invite me. What are we talking about?
Yes.
Everyone's getting a fucking free meal. I don't see
why
them
aren't you
fucking pulling
badgering
up.
all the other guests? You know what I mean? Like, why aren't you letting them know, like, oh, why didn't you help me out today? Why is it like singling out OP in this situation?
Because I'm jacked? How dare you? Some of the top comments here says, Bill's fan Drew says, I take it from the UK, turned up midday, spelling of labor and all. Is it normal not to receive a formal invitation via the mail with a date and time of the ceremony on it? Being in the States, I wouldn't even show up to a wedding unless I received a formal invitation. To which OP says, UK, yeah. And they just sent details by email. Now you have me wondering if everyone else got a proper paper invitation?
Ooh, so maybe he was just invited for the prospect of him being able to do labor for him?
It sure sounds like it. Somebody else commented, I was wondering about the wedding invitation too. It would clearly specify the start time. Did the groom call and say the invitation was wrong or something? To which OP replied again saying, I had an email with a save the date and then later an email telling me when to turn up. It was all quite casual now that I think about it, but I didn't think about it twice at the time. It really does make me wonder how far ahead he planned to do this and if everyone else did get a paper invite.
Yeah, I mean, it could be different customs, but I did get an email from from friends that usually gets it. Like the casual invite is like, hey, save the date, but then I did receive like a paper invitation afterwards. But again, this could be different countries, different practices.
So Reddit deemed not the asshole. Top comment here from Squirrel Trap says, not the asshole, but your friend sure is. He should have been upfront about his plans for your help. You can't ever assume people can just do free labor on the spot. That's such an asshole move. I'd honestly be reevaluating my friendship at this point.
I don't think there's even a friendship. They're probably just trying to render services from your ass, OP.
Honestly, I think after that, to be honest, to be quite frank, if that stuff had happened to me and I was OP, I might not go to the wedding at all.
Yeah, because that'd be a hot mess,
Or I would just fucking not give my gift and I would take the free meal and be like, fuck you, actually. And then also OP says, I would have charged a lot more than the shitty pot roast I got. So seems like the meal wasn't even worth it, to be honest. All right. This brings us to our second story. This one's coming from r/am I overreacting? And it's titled, Am I Overreacting for Getting the Ick Because a Guy Cheats at Video Games?
It depends. Is it a single player game or is it a multiplayer game?
All right. OP writes, I, female 21, have been talking to this guy, male 21, for a couple of days. Today we're texting and he mentions playing Apex. I'm excited because that's my game. I love Apex. Now, I will say there is some pictures of a text. Do you think we should go text first and then the explanation? Or explanation first, then text?
Let's whichever you feel comfortable. But we can do text first as well.
We'll read it. And then me and you can reenact the text once we have full context. OP writes, as you can see in the text, he was gonna sit in the firing range and, quote, fix his cheats. And I'm like, there's no way he cheats on video games. Like, what? So I'm confused. I call him and then he mansplains what a Zim is and blah, blah, blah. I'm already not feeling it because the entire phone call he's trying to justify cheating because it's fun. I'm not arguing with him on the phone. I'm just like, okay, cool, but at the end of the day, it's still cheating, right? And that's weird to me, but okay. From what he explains, you're tricking your console into thinking you're using a controller, but you're actually on a mouse and keyboard, but able to have no recoil and have better aim assist. He literally goes into the history of Zims and how his isn't even that bad. Now, I don't like cheaters in any capacity, so this weirds me out. I just think it's odd to go out of your way to cheat on a video game. Maybe I'm wrong for caring so much, but it's literally just a video game. Why cheat? So I get off the phone with him and text him like 15 minutes after the phone call with the message, and I guess he really wanted to argue. I should have just blocked him immediately after that message, but I didn't, and I wish I did. My way of thinking was probably extreme, but if you can cheat on a game, what else can you cheat on? Obviously, he took offense to that. Again, I should have just blocked him instead of going back and forth. He obviously just wanted to argue and get under my skin because I didn't want to talk to him anymore. Then he brings up my ex, and ouch, that hurt.
The hell? Out of nowhere? Unprompted?
Backstory to that, we were on the phone a couple days ago and we talked about our past relationships. I opened up about my ex discovering his sexuality and exploring with other people. He told me about his ex being, trigger warning, abusive towards him, using him for his money, and cheating on him. It turned into a venting session for us both, but we didn't mind. Maybe I was wrong for caring so much that he cheats at a video game, but also, why cheat? I should have just blocked him immediately after the phone call and been a loser that ghosts people. Edit 30 minutes after posting. Yes, this is real. Yes, I've been cheated on before by a gamer nonetheless. No, I'm not karma farming. Yes, I'm in therapy and on medication. Also, I know the comparison was extreme, which I have mentioned in the post. Y'all are funny as hell. I have his in-game username, and I will report him. He plays Overwatch and Apex with the Zim, as far as I know. Cracking up reading these comments and no longer crying because what he said did really hurt me. Lol.
Okay, so this wasn't the same story as it was last time, but it was kind of
No.
similar kind of pretense. I think the way me and Josh talked about this kind of similar story is that if you're playing single player games, I think it's fine because it's a way for you to relax. It's a way for you to kind of just do extra stuff. Like personally, when I play Grand Theft Auto or if I play Red Dead Redemption, Cyberpunk, and all those like single player games or Witcher 3 that I like playing, I like playing with mods because it's like one, a lot of times like a lot of the mods that a lot of users create, they kind of give a better like experience with the game, or they just fix things that the otherwise the original developers like didn't do right by the game. So that part I enjoy. The moment you start playing multiplayer games and cheat, now you're ruining other people's experiences because
Mhm.
it's like some people want to play competitively, whether that's like in Call of Duty or like Rocket League or any other multiplayer games. Once you start having an advantage over people because you're cheating, then you're being an asshole. So, but there's parts where it's like, I don't know if she's like, or I don't know if OP is doing like an umbrella term, like if you cheat in a video game, like you're a terrible person. I don't think they're like really saying that. I think they're just talking about it in like in a sense where it's like multiplayer games are involved.
All right, John, I sent you the text, or I sent you the post. We'll read the text. I'll be the shitty guy and you be OP.
All right, let's do it.
Shitty guy says, damn, I'm working out, then gonna shower, then play Apex Legends.
What? You gonna play without me? Brother,
Apex Legends?
that's my game for real. I'm bad at it, but it's my shit.
Well, not really play, just sit in the PR fixing my cheats.
You're what?
Fixing my cheats?
Like?
Like MNK on console with anti-recoil and enhanced aim assist.
So actually cheating or?
Call me.
Look, I'm not gonna be a loser and ghost you with no communication, but I'm not feeling this anymore. I wish you the best though. Salute emoji.
Was it cause the Zim thing, Lamau?
It's highly possible.
I'm crying. Really? It's a game, girl.
Right. It's just a game and you're choosing to cheat. If you can cheat on a game, what else can you cheat on?
No way. You're comparing cheating on a game to cheating on a relationship? Respectfully, you don't know me. You don't know what how my past relationships were.
Okay. Thumbs up emoji.
Okay, you're looking weird for that, but all right, I understand.
You're the one who cheats on video games. Like, it's okay to be bad. It's just a game.
Lamau, nah, it's fun.
You justifying cheating on a video game was like weird.
Girl takes this game way too serious. Was top 100 on Roller, both Apex and Overwatch. Then everyone started zimming and can't beat them, join them, lol. You're in your 20s caring.
I play to have fun and you cheat to feel good about yourself. Who's taking a game too serious?
Caring if a person cheats? I cheat for fun, not to feel good.
Yikes. Have a good one.
Yikes, no wonder this guy left you. Not because he was gay, but because you're unbearable and you're sensitive as fuck.
Hey, yo. I mean, look, the guy is a fucking obvious asshole, but I
Yes.
think there's some issues that like OP for sure needs to work out on if like if they're really pressed about shit like this. I understand where they're coming from, to be honest, because it's like, all right, well, cheating when like games are involved or other people are playing, that is pretty fucked up, but if you could kind of correlate that into like life, and it's just like, okay, maybe some people just, I just think they need to step back a little bit and be like, all right, maybe I need to resolve my own shit. But I get what they're coming from, but I think they need to chill a little bit.
Yeah, I think definitely the guy sucks to bring up the ex and bring up like, and we don't even know the sexuality of the ex, just that they experimented sexually both ways, you know?
Yeah.
So it's weird to, throw that back in OP's face. But at the same time, it is kind of like she is maybe a mini asshole for being like, for making that comparison. But she also agrees, like, hindsight looking back, that was a kind of a crazy comparison.
Comparison, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm with you, John. I think that was weird. And I guess, when she brings up the context of her having been cheated on by other gamers, maybe those gamers were
Mhm.
also cheating on games, but I don't think that necessarily it makes you a loser for sure. It makes
Oh,
you a
for
loser.
sure.
I don't
Yeah.
know if that means you would cheat on your partner if you do that.
Yeah, it's like it's the competitive edge that makes you assholey if you cheat. Because I mean, the whole point of it, yes, the whole point of it is to have fun. But some people take this shit serious. Like, if you are really good at playing video games, there's a career opportunity for you if you want to take it professionally. So, if you find out those type of people cheat to kind of get ranked up or like move on up to get into those specific leagues, like 2K League or be on an esports team, like yeah, I can feel some type of way about OP being jaded about that, but I don't know. With the context that OP provided, I think they understand, like, they're coming in a little bit hot. But again, I get where they're coming from, but take a step back a little bit, in my opinion.
It was on r/am I overreacting, so nobody really there's not a judgment on that one per se. But the top comments are saying you should have gotten his IGN to report him. And then this one's coming from Dog Knifer, who says pretty much what you said. Using cheats in a single player game seems fine to me, but it's what I thought this post was going to be about. Cheating at multiplayer games is so scummy. And then a lot of people are pretty much saying, yeah, cheating at single player games, fine. Multiplayer, loser behavior.
Facts.
And then this one, also top comment from Difficult Mobile 902 says, nah. I mean, I never met a single person who cheats to pretend they're good at a game who also didn't have a super fragile ego and happened to be an incredibly selfish person. It's sort of like someone who treats service workers poorly, saying it's a small thing, but it paints a bigger picture of their character as a person, and he starts to show his true colors at the end of the convo as well.
Oh, for sure.
So-
Like, yeah, I mean, single player games, I'll be playing that shit on easy mode, and I still fucking cheat
Oh, yeah.
sometimes. You know what I mean? I want to feel OP. It's a video game. Like, it's a fantasy world. I want to feel the most badass person out there. I can't do that shit in real life. Are you kidding me?
All right. That brings us to our third story. This one's coming from r/am I the asshole, and it's titled, Am I the asshole for banning my friends from my lake house?
No. They probably took advantage of your hospitality.
OP writes, a friend of my husband called him and asked if her kids could go to the lake house to do some fishing. We expected her to come along with them. They were supposed to bring their own fishing equipment, but she did not stay. She just dropped them off and left. In fact, she actually dropped one of her sons off with a friend, a kid that we don't know at all. Turns out the kids all forgot their fishing equipment, and they ended up taking my husband's rods, his fishing gear, and on top of that, they got into our kayak without asking.
Hell nah, fam.
Now, I do not blame the kids as they are kids, but they went to the middle of the lake, flipped the kayak, almost drowned, and lost all of my husband's fishing gear. The neighbors rescued them as I was not home yet or even aware of this situation.
Wait, I missed this. So the parent just dropped them off at the lake house and then they dipped?
Yeah, it sounds like nobody was home.
Wait, so no one was watching the kids?
No.
Oh.
This gotta be jail or something, right?
That's got did they say how old the kids were? Or
No, but that's gotta be some kind
That's
of CPS
neglect,
shit,
right?
Right? You just dropped them off out of house. You didn't even walk them into the door?
And doing activities like that where it's hella dangerous in a lake?
Yeah.
Mm.
Now, maybe I'm wrong and the husband was there, but she doesn't mention that. She says they dropped him off and then they just took the equipment and a kayak.
I think they were left alone, my guy.
It
If the
sounds like
neighbors
they were left alone to me.
Yeah, because if the neighbors were the ones that rescued them, otherwise
Yeah.
the father would have been,
Yeah,
there.
that's what I'm thinking. Now my husband's friend is blaming it on the friend of the kid as she, quote, knows her son. I called her furious, then banned her, her kids, her husband, and her pets. Crazy to ban the pets. That's but I guess you got to cover all bases. And banned her pets from the property and demanded reimbursement for all of the fishing gear. She is now acting as if I'm being irrational. So am I the asshole?
Absolutely not. And you know what would happen if something terrible happened to those kids? Guess who's going to be liable? The homeowner, unfortunately. That's your property. That's where, they use your equipment. Unhinged. If this was kind of the scenario that we think it's happening, for the fact that the parent left their kid to do their own thing, go to someone else's house, take their equipment, sink the goddamn kayak, and almost die in the process, and you left them all alone for the neighbors to fucking save them? If this ain't CPS reportable material, I don't know what is, brother.
I don't know. This is crazy, crazy work. So just calling and being like, hey, can I drop them off? There's no mention on if they even agreed to do that. And even if they did agree, I'm sure they wouldn't have agreed to drop them off while they were not home. Maybe like, yeah, we'll be home in like an hour, and then you drop them off in 30, and then this happens. You know what I mean? So
And then bringing another kid that you don't
that
know
you've never
about
met.
is insane behavior, entitled as hell.
Yeah. And then when I say you owe me for all of the fishing gear lost,
You say I have the nerve to
And
ask
then
you
you're
for my
also-
money back?
yeah, what the fuck?
Oh,
Also, I know my son. My son would never do that, but he did. He was
Not
on the
only am
kayak
I-
and he almost died.
not only am I banning this person, I might go to small courts and fucking get this shit situated. Fix my
Exactly.
damn kayak and replace all my damn fishing rods for my husband. What
Yeah.
the hell?
Reddit deemed not the asshole, and one of the top comments here from Corgi Cat's Coffee, the three
Great
C's,
name.
trifecta. Of course not the asshole. You are so far removed from assholery. The mom is negligent. She brought them for fishing, but they had no rod, no tackle. She didn't even check to make sure someone was home before leaving them. She was
Mhm.
hoping to be kid-free, and she almost was, permanently. Here's the thing. Accidents happen. It may have been the friend, it may have been her kid. Either way, she left them and doubled down instead of taking responsibility. It sounds like the kids don't know water safety either and didn't have life vests. Thank goodness for your neighbors. I'm so glad the kids are safe. You are not the asshole, not overreacting, and if anything, not reacting enough. If
Yup.
anything worse had happened, I can't even imagine. You made the right choice banning them. She needed to check to make sure someone was home and to see if they could borrow your fishing equipment at minimum before driving off.
That's true.
To which OP replied, "Thank God for the neighbors. I was expecting the police to show up at my house after this happened. They could have reported me for child endangerment as it's on my property. And if anything worse had happened, I would be the one in big trouble." Like you said. Not to mention, I just had a baby. I already feel like my life is unmanageable enough to be dealing with this.
So you're telling me the friend knew that OP just had a baby and you were like, I want to be child free for the damn afternoon and still drop them off at your house?
Cops. We gotta call the cops.
Yeah, child endangerment on the other parent. Are you kidding me right now?
Okay, here's another one from Kaleidoscope Away. It says, "Hi, I grew up on a lake. We had a neighbor's friend do something similar when I was young, and fortunately my dad was home or things would have been real bad for the kid and his dog. Us kids who lived along the lake knew water safety and all the dangers in and around the water, like certain venomous snakes, from before we could even walk. Friends weren't allowed near the edge of property without an adult ever unless the parent knew them well enough to trust their instincts. First things first, contact a lawyer. You are not the bad guy, but there are going to be issues. Second, get a lock for that kayak. It's like a bike lock, but bigger, and it goes around the nearest tree. Third, storage locker for husband's tackle and gear. I'm assuming you either left the house unlocked or the gear was outside. Fourth, cameras. This woman does not sound sane and might not take being banned very kindly. For the Redditors who think this person is rich, there are plenty of rural places with lakefronts that will run you cheap. The town I grew up on is still under the U.S. poverty line, and most of these people don't have a ton of extra money, which is why I know everything I've listed is probably expensive as heck for OP, but needs to be done for their own safety and for the safety of their property."
Yeah, I mean, even with that, the basic underlying thing should be respecting people's properties and boundaries, right? Like, what are we doing here from that friend? Oh my god, if that's got to be one of the most entitled people I've ever heard in this show. Holy crap!
Like what you said, fucking trying to take advantage of a
A
new
new
mom
dude. Are you kidding me
and
right
being like,
now?
"Let me drop off 2 kids, one of whom you don't know at
know.
all, so I could have some child-free time," is
Oh,
batshit.
insane behavior. Jesus Christ.
All right.
Poor pets, though.
Yeah, they got
Like,
banned for no reason. They probably love that
like,
one.
what the fuck am I supposed to sniff shit now?
All right, this next one's coming from r/am I the asshole, and it's titled, "Am I the asshole for telling my friend that he can come to our outings, but his girlfriend with OCD cannot?"
Ooh. The friends possibly could be ableist in this scenario, but there's also a possibility that the girlfriend has not really shed a good light on the rest of the friend group, and they're probably not handling their condition to the best of their ability and making life miserable for everybody. I'm gonna take a risk here because I've been watching too much 90 Day Fiancé, and there's one girl in particular that says she has OCD, and she's been pissing me off the whole fucking season. I'm going not the asshole for this one.
Ooh. Let's see. OP writes, "So I'll try to be brief. I, 20 female, have a group of friends I've known since school. We don't see each other often anymore because adulting is chaotic, but we try to get together every 2 months or so. There's about 6 people in this group, including Mark, 22 male, who recently got a girlfriend who I will call Sarah, 21 female. Sarah has bad OCD and has loads of rules to what she can and cannot tolerate, which originally was not a problem as some of us are also neurodivergent / have conditions that required adaptations. So we adapted our outings whenever she wanted to come since she was polite and nice. Everything was fine for a few months until one of our other friends casually asked me about my dermatitis and if it was better. For context, I have contact dermatitis, which is not contagious in any way, shape, or form, but it does flare up often. Sarah heard this conversation and deemed me a quote, contaminated person, end quote. Ever since then, she's been treating me like I have the plague. She won't touch anything that I have touched. She won't sit near me, and she will make a disgusted face anytime I'm around. Which, at first, I took she has a condition and I don't care what she does. But she started doing it to other people, like warning people not to sit near me. And even once at a restaurant told a waiter to be careful not to touch me when he handed me my glass, or he would contaminate himself and everyone else that he served.
Oh, hell no.
At this point, me and everyone in the group were getting incredibly bothered by it. And one of our other friends even told her and Mark that she can do what she wants, but it's shitty to keep saying that to people. Now, here is where I might be the asshole. While we were planning our next get together, I told the group that if Sarah was coming, I just wouldn't go. I don't deserve to be treated like a monster for something that's entirely out of my control, and it's harmless to others, and I don't want to be shamed by it. Since the group was already bothered by Sarah's actions, we all decided that Mark was welcome, but we did not want Sarah around until she dealt with that fear. He was not online at that time, so I texted him in private and explained that Sarah was making everyone uncomfortable and we'd prefer that she didn't come until she could work through at least not telling everyone else to not touch me. I also said we understand if that meant he didn't want to come if she couldn't, as she is his girlfriend after all and he has to support her. Well, a few hours later, he blew up. He called me an ableist, specifically an ableist asshole, and said that Sarah had seen the messages and has not stopped crying since. He has also blocked us all once he saw the rest of the group agreed with me. So am I the asshole? Should I have not said something to the group and just pretend I didn't hear her? Edit. So, this post certainly gathered more attention than I intended it to. I already saw one of those voiceover videos about it. Lol, sorry. I wanted to thank everyone for the responses, especially the people who broke it down for me a lot. It helped me to see that although some things could have been handled differently, I was not overreacting. Our next hangout is in 2 weeks, as we're currently still blocked, but I'll make sure to post an update in this subreddit if anything ever comes of it.
I'm gonna go in a caveat, and I'm gonna say a caveat that like I will never fully understand what having OCD is like, so I
Yes.
might be speaking out of term here. But just for my general knowledge here, and just based on the situation that we were given, I'm gonna deem not the asshole for OP. And I could be completely wrong based on Reddit, and I'm okay to learn, people. So if you can correct me all you want, I'm willing to listen to it. In this scenario, I'm a firm believer of like, you know, if you have something that you got to work on, like you got to handle, or if there's a condition that you have, it's still your sole responsibility to be able to handle that shit. I'm all about like reasonable accommodation and all that, but the accommodation can only be when it's reasonable. Once you start badgering people and also demeaning other people for conditions that they also have, and you expecting them to treat you with such courtesy, then I think, the girlfriend is becoming an asshole in this situation. I understand that, like, probably in their mind or in how they're framing things, maybe to them it's like, okay, like I can't get in contact with this because of like my condition. I'm paranoid that I might get sick. And when she says that internally to herself, and she might not want to do anything with OP, I completely understand that from her end. But the moment she starts telling people, don't fucking touch her or you'll be contagious in every social setting possible, and also tries to like get the waiter, your friends, to be like, oh, don't touch her shit. she's contagious. You're becoming an asshole to OP now. Now you're basically trying to alienate her and making her seem like less of a person because she also has the conditions that she's working with. So I understand the boyfriend for defending his girlfriend in that situation. I also understand why the girlfriend is also upset for being excluded from activities. But that's her issue that she got to work out on. And unfortunately, she's making the rest of the group uncomfortable by making OP feel like shit of a person because she's going through shit. I'm going to have to go not the asshole for this one.
Yeah, again, like John, I don't have OCD, so I can't know exactly what this person is feeling. But I agree with John. It's like, all right, we understand you have this condition, we adapt for you, but you're showing that you're not willing to adapt for me and my condition. Mine is more, I guess, skin wise, right? Dermatitis, and less neurodivergent, but that doesn't make it any less of like an issue that I can't control.
And
So
a lot of the group too also have some sort of their version of neurodivergency. So, you know what
yeah,
I mean? Yeah.
so it's wild for and John mentioned this. It's wild for the girlfriend to expect me to make all these changes when she won't do the same for me, especially as the new person in the group. You're trying to take an established member and try to exclude them, which, as we could see in the story, did not go well with the rest of the group. Reddit deemed not the asshole. One of the comments here says, from Coyote the Queen says, as someone with an OCD diagnosis, I've learned that it is not healthy for the people in my life to quote unquote enable me with my compulsions. You are right to set this boundary, not only for your own comfort and sanity, but for hers as well. I'm so sorry she's made those comments about you to others. That is really unfair and I imagine very hurtful. Not the asshole. To which OP replied and said, thank you. I tried to explain it to her at first the day she found out since she saw a red spot on my face after my friend asked. I told her that it's like an allergic reaction that happens at random and it's not contagious, but that did not seem to help. So we have more comments with people from OCD kind of saying what you're saying. Like it's kind of on the girlfriend to handle that, in a way that doesn't alienate OP.
Yeah, I think so. Like I think the girlfriend with the OCD is valid to have those concerns. Again, we don't know like how her brain like operates and work, but yeah, the moment you start trying to make her look bad in front of other people, that's just fucked up. She don't OP doesn't deserve that at all.
Yeah. Another comment from Nelly Uwu writes, if I had $1 for every Am I the Asshole post that involves a person with rampantly untreated mental illness that isn't trying to get better. Anyways, as a person with OCD who has been to treatment, not the asshole, but I think that's obvious here. To which OP says, thank you. It's good to see that from a person who goes through OCD. I am autistic, so I do struggle with social cues, and I really did not mean to make her feel bad.
Yeah, I didn't see that at all. Like from OP, because yeah, they were trying so much to accommodate like the group as much as possible. Not just the girlfriend in general, but trying to meet everyone's needs as fair as possible for the betterment of the group. Is what I'm getting at from OP here.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a group decision. So it's not like, and I guess the boyfriend in the story knows that as he's blocked all of them. But hopefully he takes the time to realize, all right, if it's a group thing, then like maybe we should look at it with, more credence. And maybe they weren't trying to hurt your feelings, but they're just trying to explain how they feel.
Yeah, and I hope they can like revisit the friendship later on. Maybe when cooler heads prevail, they can have a conversation, and OP could say like, "Hey," to the girlfriend, like, "What you were saying to a bunch of people really hurt my feelings. I apologize for alienating you." And hopefully, the girlfriend can then control like how they treat OP in their scenario. There's a possibility that they could be friends again, and reestablish this relationship. But who knows? It probably will just take a little bit of time.
All right, Wikimaniacs, that brings us to our fifth and final story of the regular episode. But if you want to hear two more stories, you could become a patron and you'll hear about a post that somebody put on our subreddit that is just titled, I need the guys to react to this one.
The GAT to
The
react,
Gats.
to
Yeah.
react to that. Sean will be clapping his cheeks for the paid version, guys.
Yeah, so make sure to check out patreon.com/cultivate podcast network.
Podcast network. Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm learning.
You got
To
it.
watch me clap cheeks while reading Reddit stories. There's only one way to find out if I do that.
Fred will be like waiting patiently, feet kicking up from his bed. Oh my God.
I can't wait to clip this. All right. But let's read this final one before hopping over there. This one's titled, Am I the asshole for offering to buy my parents a home instead of just giving them the money?
No, it's very generous for you to do that to begin with.
Right.
There could be a possibility where it's just like, ooh, I have X amount of dollars. I'm just going to spend this shit elsewhere instead of buying a home.
All right. Opie writes, My husband and I live in the Great Lakes region. We are both professionals and we have children in high school/college. We've done reasonably well and have built up significant savings, but we're definitely not wealthy enough that $300,000 is money that we can just give away.
Motherfucker, it sounds like you're about to. What do you mean?
It sounds like your parents want you to just give away $300,000. My parents are in a bad financial situation. They own a house, but they are heavily in debt on it, so they live in the basement and rent out the main floor. They believe they are about $400,000 in equity. We think they are being wildly optimistic. They have a large mortgage with significant penalties, a HELOC, and property values have fallen. We think they'd be lucky to walk away with $200,000, possibly much less. Earlier this year, they found an apartment they liked for around $300,000, and they asked us to co-sign a loan to buy it. We refused because of their financial history, but instead, we offered to buy the apartment ourselves and let them live there for a fraction of market rent. They loved this idea. We just needed several months to arrange our finances. This is still a major commitment for us. We have children and our own retirement to fund. The reason we can't justify spending $300,000 is that we would own the property. We'd essentially be moving part of our retirement savings into real estate while giving my parents a secure and affordable housing situation. Eventually, we could then sell it to fund our own retirement. We finally got everything arranged and told them that we were ready. But now, they've decided that the apartment that they wanted 6 months ago is now too small and that they, quote, couldn't possibly live there. Instead, they found a much more expensive condo that they like.
Be fucking homeless then. What are we talking about here?
Exactly right. You are in zero position.
Yeah. Someone's already willing to spend damn near fucking $300,000, $300,000
dude.
to invest, to make sure that you have a decent place to live in. Beggars can't be choosers, you dumbass parents. What are we doing here?
I didn't watch the Odyssey, but I've seen that clip.
I still need
Get
to see
these beggars out of here.
I'm so desperate to watch it on, is it 70mm or some shit like that? Is that what it's called?
Isn't that in your backyard, brother?
It is, but like the tickets are all sold out still.
Really?
Dead ass fly over here just to watch that damn film.
Yeah, for sure.
The only openings are like 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, bitch, I am not waking up at 2:30 in the morning. We're staying up.
But I mean, they're gonna take it out of theaters before they?
I know. I'm like, I want to watch it. I might just have to watch it at home.
You might need to watch it at 2:30, dude.
Yeah. Oh, damn it.
Just do it on a day you don't have anything.
I can't stay awake.
Just take your meds late. I'm not a doctor, but
You're gonna mess up my sleep cycle.
I'm sorry. Things got to be done. All right. Opie continues. They insist that they can afford it because they're counting on getting $400,000 from their house. The problem is that they now seem to think that the money that we have prepared to spend buying an apartment is essentially now their $300,000. Their position is that if we were willing to spend that much helping them, then why not just give them the money so they can combine it with their $400,000 equity and buy what they actually want? I can see how our position might seem controlling, saying we'll spend $300,000 helping you, but only if we own the property. But to us, there is an enormous difference between investing $300,000 into an asset that we own and simply giving away $300,000 of our family's savings. Our offer still stands. We'll buy a reasonable apartment around the original price, own it, and let them live there very cheaply. If they want the expensive condo instead, then that's their choice, but we will not be giving them the $300,000. So am I the asshole for offering to buy my parents a home, but refusing to just give them the money for it?
Absolutely not. My God, the entitlement. First of all, I would never co-sign for anybody. Ever. No matter how close I am with that person, the only one I would do it, my wife, because it's just like it's a shared asset that we have together. Everyone else, fuck no. Count me out. And with their history of not having any like financial stability, probably bad at spending or saving money, and then you're gonna ask them or ask me to give you $300,000 because you think you're gonna have 400,000. What is this, like that fucking Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler? You think you have 401,000 in your bank account? Hello, you probably don't have that shit, and with all the fees that you're gonna get from selling the house, all the other shit, the upkeep, you are lucky to probably come out of that with like $200,000. And someone is offering you 300 grand so you can live comfortable for the rest of your days for paying a nominal fee, and you still refuse. You dumb ass motherfuckers.
It is batshit insane to be in such a bad spot and then be like, well, why don't you just give me $300,000? What are you talking about? One, no, I don't trust you. You can't.
Yeah.
One, I just don't trust you. And two, I guess you would be buying it with my money. It wouldn't be us owning it. So then who's to say you just never sell that back to us? You know what I mean? Fuck all of that noise. It may seem controlling to say, like, I'll only buy the $300,000 apartment.
Well, you're
But
lucky
guess
you
what?
even offered.
It is controlling because it is your money, and it should be controlling because it is your money. So fuck all. Don't feel bad at all about it being controlling. It should be. You should have some control over that amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy that the parents even have you thinking, I know it sounds a little bit selfish. And it should.
You should be.
You should be. That's $300,000 we're talking about. That's a lot of money.
Dude, and you still have retirement to think about. You still have kids that are in college to think about. I can't stand when parents like try to make their kids their retirement option. Like, fuck all that noise, bro. Like, you're supposed to, your parents are supposed to equip their kids to be like as successful as possible. Handle your own shit.
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh,
that brings us to a
God.
few edits from OP. I just want to emphasize that our real fear is that mom will spend another winter living in the basement. It is horrible. Also, they could very well end up homeless, and we can't let that happen. We understand that they will probably be terrible at paying rent. We are basically going to ask for enough to cover the condo fees and taxes, and even that might be a challenge. Financially, this is a terrible plan. But the alternative is mom spending another winter in the basement apartment, which we also feel terrible about. Update, this has blown up a bit more than I expected. So I showed this to my partner and we sat down with ChatGPT. Boo!
Asshole.
Yeah, now you're the asshole. And came up with a financial plan for ourselves to retire comfortably within the next 5 years. We are in our early 50s. We will take this to a financial advisor and make it happen.
You should have done that the first hand.
Yeah, that's what I'm fucking saying. Why? Just go to the financial advisor. If that's the end goal anyways.
You could have just done
just
that.
fucking go there to begin. Let's not waste a fucking lake. Anyways. Still going to have to keep a reserve to deal with the parents to keep them from being homeless when their financial decisions catch up with them. But yeah, if they want to just throw away my money, then forget it. I can retire early and in comfort instead. Edit. To be clear, ChatGPT was just giving us ideas and a timeline of what to do. We do not fully trust it or even trust it a little bit. We will be taking the plan to an advisor to actually figure out what we are going to do, to which John and I say, why the fuck even use it if we don't trust it?
You fucking idiots, dude. Oh, but
I was
look,
on your side until then. Now
Look.
it's everybody sucks for me.
Is it noble that you're trying to make sure that your parents are doing okay? Absolutely. Like I think we've got as a society, we've kind of gotten away from like a community type of, a community type of function where it's become too individualistic. I do like the fact that you're still trying to make sure that your parents are taken care of. I get that. But the moment they start feeling entitled to your fucking money, that's when you lost me. All right. Like, that's when it's just like, okay, you're way too damn entitled. One, you already have a pattern of history that you don't know how to handle your finances. Why am I going to fucking trust you with potentially our future, our retirement, possibly our children's educations, their children's educations and all that shit? Like, what are we doing here? Like, the parents were obviously given a solution for the problem that they currently have, and they still try to be greedy and fucking, do some other extra bullshit with it.
Yeah. Tits McGee 8008
Nice.
says, which I gotta say, 8008 is boobs in a calculator.
Nice.
If she spends another winter in that basement, it is your mom's choice. You have been beyond generous, and she is using your love to manipulate you, not the asshole. And to be honest, I wouldn't even stick to the original offer. You are asking to get played. Don't let your love for your parents and their adult choices cause you to put your children's future in danger.
Facts.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. That is it for this episode of Am I the Asshole Fridays. We'll talk to you guys later this week.
The last story that Sean did, probably one of the most unhinged stories.
Truly unhinged. And honestly, I'm glad Josh
God.
was not here to hear it, because he wouldn't have liked it any more than we did. But yeah, if you want to hear something fucking insane, or if you are, if your Reddit account is sonashamed2256, you really might want to become a patron on patreon.com/Cultivate Podcast Network.
You said you wanted us to react to it. We did.
Just, you're going to have to pay to hear it. But that is it. Before we go, John, anything to tell the Wikimaniacs?
Reddit on wikishop.com. Reddit on wikishop.com. Fred's merch is still up for another couple days. And again, half of the profits for this one will go to 10 Oaks Project.
Hell yeah. Also, comment below what your favorite AEW All-In match will be this weekend. I can't wait to see it.
Oh, it's this weekend.
The weekend this comes out, yeah.
I cannot wait for that Kenny and
Osprey match.
That is going to be
crazy.
Match of the century.
Also, whatever New Day is going to do, because they're for sure coming. And I will be too. All right, that's it for this episode. We'll talk to you guys next week. Later.
Get therapy.